Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
As the Reagan era rolled towards a close, Tampa road expansion was heating up.
In late 1985, I got a phone call from John Bauman, who was a CPA, whose office was on Dale Mabry, just north of Bush Boulevard, and he called several people in the area. There weren't many of us back here in 1985. And he called a meeting at his office, and we discussed that DOT was about to widen Dale Mabry. And DOT had just widened Waters Avenue and had put a lot of businesses out of business because they blocked driveways. They had pipes and tractors and all kinds of equipment in blocking ingress and egress to businesses, and a lot of people went out of business.
The original members banded together, meeting many times with DOT to come up with a plan to survive Dale Mabry expansion.
We discussed possibly doing the work at night. If there were 2 driveways to a particular office, we would let them block one, but not both. If there was one driveway, they couldn't block the driveway till after that business closed, and they had to reopen it before the business opened the next morning.
The business DOT partnership made Florida history, becoming one of the first large projects completed almost solely at night.
And we were able to salvage all the businesses because DOT was very cooperative. The 16 of us that were together continued to meet week after week, and after a couple of months of meeting and networking amongst ourselves, John Bauman suggested we form an organization that would be a business networking organization.
Carrollwood Area Business Association was formed, and CABA was born.
I think I saw some ad about going to a networking event, and the first one I went to, I specifically remember the major guy was the president at the time, Jim Bauman, who came over and introduced himself and said, well, this is who you need to talk to. And he mentioned people that were going to be able to help me with my accounting, with my insurance, and everything else that I needed in one night.
Early years was new for me because I was relatively young, in my 20s, and I was just learning the profession itself. So it was a learning, growing experience, but a lot of the seasoned members at that time really helped me along being a new guy.
So we knew each other very well. We did business with each other. We referred family members and other clients to each other. And it was like a nice little small family.
An early eye on expansion sparked a contest for original board member Nancy Welch.
They had a membership drive, and she and Don Coryell, between the two of them, increased it to over 60 members in 1 year. And that's when CABA really took off.
Larger membership brought a flood of ideas, leading to the cornerstones of CABA's success: activity and involvement.
Then we had, with Jim Keeper and I, we did the family picnic, which on a Saturday, we'd had all the members that were part of CABA bring their spouses and children and stuff, and we wanted to meet them. We had egg toss, balloon toss, we had a dunking booth, and that turned into what was called the Carrollwood Balloon Festival. We used to have 25 hot air balloons lift. It was a great, great community event.
My years on the board, I really enjoyed. Got to know a lot of people, continued, and then finally, one of my good friends said, why don't you run for president? So I did, and I was fortunate that I was elected. That was probably one of the best days of my life.
Like others, I don't know that I can tell you there's one specific event that is a favorite. Of course, it's a real honor to have been elected president of the organization, but there's been so many wonderful events that have taken place over the years.
Some of the most memorable moments was one of the first programs I got onto was Adopt a Highway CABA did. We used to pick up the trash on Dale Mabry Highway. We would do it on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning. We'd go and bag up the trash, and Sandra Chuting's bank at the time would allow us to dump it in her dumpster back there.
Because as soon as we joined CABA, we signed up to be a host. And I got involved very, very quickly, being one of those greeters, making sure I was on committees. And as soon as we hosted, those first 6 months, 60% of our business was from CABA and CABA referrals.
Then you had the holiday tree lighting, which was a blast. It was so much fun getting the elementary school kids out there, decorating the tree. We set a real Christmas tree about 25 foot tall or taller at times.
CABA connections happen every week in our organization. They come in many shapes and sizes over the years, some more memorable than others.
I had seen her at a previous CABA function, and I knew her name was Nancy Welch. Well, that was the name of a neighbor of mine back in high school, and I thought that might be who it was. And I literally followed her around the room trying to get her, but I kept getting interrupted with people, and she ended up leaving, and I never met her. The very next CABA event, she walks in, sees me, comes over and talks, and her name was Nancy Welch. And that was in February, and March, April, and we got married in May. So that was my most memorable event, was meeting my wife.